Okay, so as we mentioned last week, the parsha opens up. Im b'chukotai telechu v'etmatzai tishmeru v'asitem otam v'natati gishmechem v'itam v'natna aretz yivulav eitz hasadet yitain pirio. Right? If you follow my chukim, so I'll give you rain, and the land will give its produce. V'sig lachem dayesh et batzir yatzig et zar v'achaltem lachmechem lasov v'vishatem levev dachbar tzechem. And we noted that in Pshat the chukim are Shemitah and Yovel, right? Meaning the immediate previous halachot that we referred to as chukim and mishpatim, right? And the reason, the logic makes a lot of sense, right? Meaning since the fundamental promise is that you will live securely in the land, right? That is the proper midah keneged midah of recognizing that the land is God's, right? If you keep sort of that whole conglomerate of laws in Bahar. Again, Bahar is actually one of those parashiyot that is, like, thematically from beginning to end is the most coherent, right? I'm not like, there's not like an insult to the Torah. It's just that parashiyot are not the natural division of the Torah, right? The national division of Torah is svarim and psukim and parashiyot, right? Like sedra is not like a natural thing. Therefore, like, in 2 weeks, when we get, or how do you review it? 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. When you get to, like, Naso, right? Like, Naso has no, like, logic going through it. It's 176 psukim, right? Of a lot of different things going on. And, like, sure, Nazir and Sota and the Nesiim and whatever, right? It's a beautiful parsha. It says a lot going on. Bahar is a 57 pasuk parsha, which basically was divided up to do the land is God laws, okay? So that's the pshat, right? And the bracha, like I said, is midah keneged midah, right? It's you will have produce, you'll have security, right? Which then moves to pasuk vav v'natati shalom ba'aretz u'chavtem ve'ein macharid v'ishpati chaya ra'a min haaretz v'cherev lo ta'avor ba'aretzechem, right? I'll give peace in the land, and there won't even be evil animals, right? Wild animals. Why? My guess is, why is that the midah keneged midah? my guess, though I don't think Mepharshim actually say this, but this is my guess, right? Why the animals? Why is the part of the promise that the animals will become? I assume because that's part of Shemitah, right? Part of recognizing the land is God's is by leaving the land fallow such that even the animals can eat. Remember that emphasis, right? You can eat it, and the Chayat HaSadeh can eat it, right? Meaning, if you allow the animals of the field to eat from the land because you recognize it's God, and therefore it's not yours more than the animals, right? In return, God will make it that the animals don't. Yeah, well, specifically, don't make it difficult to live in Israel, right? Meaning, there seems to be the logical midah keneged midah, and then in classic sort of biblical style, it then moves beyond that, right? You'll have peace, right? And additionally, right, if you have enemies, you will actively pursue them, right, in miraculous ways, which is sort of the logical progression to that, right? And then you'll also have many children, right? Right? And this also makes sense in context, which is, what is V'achaltem Yashan Noshan? Right? Rashi says you'll have fruit from storage, meaning the fruit will also be of higher quality such that you'll be able to store them, and presumably you'll have a surplus of them, right? V'yasham b'nei chadash totziyu, meaning you're not, right, if you are living, in modern terminology, you won't be living paycheck to paycheck, right? It won't be that, like, you're saving up the end of the produce, waiting for the new produce, right? It's v'yasham b'nei chadash totziyu, right? It'll get to the point where there's still leftovers in your storehouse, and you'll clear out the old because you now have new, right? There'll be a surplus, right? That's v'natati mishkani b'tochechem v'lo tig'al nafshi etchem, right? And I will put my mishkan among you, and then maybe what we'll talk about tomorrow, a very bizarre pasuk, which is, and I won't hate you, right? Which is sort of at first glance seems very out of place in these psukim. Is lo tig'al nafshi etchem, right? That's like, right? Everything will be great. I'll take care of you. I'll give you wealth, and I won't despise you, right? Which is okay, fine. But then you get an interesting pasuk. V'talachti b'tochechem v'yiti lachem le'Elohim v'atem tishu li la'am. and I will walk among you, and I will be your God, and you will be my people. Now, what is pshat in that line? Right, if we just sort of keep with the pshat here, right? What is that line? Right, what is that? Does that remind you of anything, that line? What? Well, those first few things. V'hitalachti b'tochechem. Right, I will walk among you. Does that remind you of anything?
Is that when did Anane Kavod get?
Even before that. What's the first time we get that phrase?
The Egel, like after Egel.
Before that. Even before that.
With Adam.
Where?
I don't know. It's only 4 hours.
This is Rashi, by the way. This is not like I'm making this up. This is Rashi. Right, exactly. Right, that God walks in the garden. Right, Rashi says, "Atayal imachem b'gan Eden." I will walk with you in Gan Eden. Kachad mikem lot you mizdazim mimeni. I'll walk among you, and you won't be afraid of me. Right, Rashi is quoting a midrash. Right, but what is that midrash hinting at? Right, what is the hidden resonance of this psukim? Who was mizdazeya from God? Adam after he sinned. Right, but if you keep my laws, I'll walk among you, and you won't have to be afraid. Why? Right, why would there be Gan Eden resonances in psukim which are fundamentally about Shemitah and Yovel in Pshat? Right, and the reward being security in Israel. Why would the reward be? It will be as if I walk among you in Gan Eden pre-sin. Right? I mean, right? If we just focus on Rashi for a moment, right? Rashi is quoting Midrash that says essentially the reward for Shemitah and Yovel is that God will be among you as if it were pre-original sin.
Well,
right? Why is that the reward?
You're keeping the mitzvos that are similar to the one that Adam himself
violated.
Yeah,
I think that's the point. Right? That Shemitah and Yovel are in a fundamental way a tikkun of the sin of Adam. Right? Because Adam's fundamental sin was, I'm giving you this beautiful land. Enjoy whatever you want as long as you don't eat from it. Why not? Why can't you eat from it? Because what? That was mine. Right, because then you think you're bailim rather than, right, that God is saying, this is mine, I'm letting you use it the way I need you to recognize that it's mine. And that you're eating from Gan Eden at God's largesse is, right, is if you recognize that it's not yours, right, by withholding from the one thing that God said, right? This is how you know it's not. This is how I will know that you really understand that it's not yours, which is if you are able to take no for an answer on a single tree, right? But Eretz Yisrael is, in many ways, the Edenic sort of manifestation, our reincarnation in this world, right? It's the land of God that He allows us to enjoy, but the equivalent of the original command, which is, don't eat from the tree. Right? Don't act like this is fully yours, but recognize it's mine. What's the equivalent in Eretz Yisrael? Shemitah and Yovel is, if you can every 7 years and even more every 50 years say, this is not mine, it's God. So then, as Rashi quotes the Midrash, Atayel Nachem Began Eden, Ke'echad mikem lo tiyu mizdazim mimeni. I'll walk among you, and you will no longer have to be afraid from me as if it were Gan Eden pre-sin, because you will be mitaking the sin of Adam by recognizing that the land is not yours, but you enjoy it because I'm giving it to you, I'm allowing you to enjoy it as long as you know it's mine. And Aniyash Adonai Elohechem Asher Tzeitti Etchem Eretz Mitzrayim Miyot Lahem Avodim V'Shbor Mutot Olchem V'Olech Etchem Kol Miyut. Right, and then, right, I am your God who took you out of Egypt, and I will break the yokes of your oppression, etc., and you'll walk upright. Right, but I think that's right, in a sort of a nutshell, right, the imagery that the Midrash is picking up on of the beginning of the Tochacha, right, or pre-Tochacha, meaning still the Brachot, is this Shemitah Yovel Eretz Yisrael phenomenon as the reincarnation of Gan Eden, right? Don't eat from the tree phenomenon of I give you my land, right, which is a great land where you'll have peace, right, miraculous existence, as long as you do that one thing that shows the world that you really recognize this is mine, not yours, right, that you are tenants, even if permanent tenants, but not landlords. Right? If you don't do that, and that's the next psukim, then things will be really bad for you, right? But this is the tikkun. I think that's really what the midrash that Rashi quotes is getting at, right? And it's picking up on that language of v'talachti b'tochechem, and right. I mean, like, Rashi. There's just a Rashi, right? You can't get more an explicit allusion to the Midrash saying, yes, Shemitah and Yovel are theologically the equivalent of not eating from the tree, and therefore they are the tikkun of the sin, then again, I'll read it one more time. I will walk with you in Gan Eden, and you won't be afraid, right? Which is obviously the tikkun of that first moment, which is, God was mitalech v'toch hagan, Adam hides. Hashem says, why are you hiding? He said, because I heard you. He said, why are you scared of me? Because we sinned, right? Because we messed up. This time you won't mess up. Right? But also you understand, this will lead us to tomorrow, why theologically, despite the fact that we said last week, the Shemitah and Yovel are so hard. Right? Yes, they're hard, but the reason the punishment is so bad is because, right, this is like God saying, look, I've given you a second chance to, fix the original sin, and you've messed it up again for the last 70 Shemitah. Like, how many times can I go through this? Right? You understand, as hard as the mitzvah is, theologically, why it's so bad to mess up again. It's like, I gave humanity a chance to fix what you did, and you chose not to, right? That makes God
upset.
Yeah, that God makes God upset, okay?